This terrifying camping discovery was never supposed to be found by man. This comes from a Reddit user. I was working as a trapper up north in northern Canada. I was alone for weeks at a time, and I had to travel to different parts of the wilderness to set up new traps. One evening, I was sitting outside my cabin reading a book in the fading light. I saw what can only be described as a giant decaying humanoid figure shambling through the trees. I got up and ran inside, slammed the door shut, and locked it. I didn't want to be too alarmed, so I told myself it was probably just some sort of sick joke played by some bored teenagers from the nearby First Nations reserve. I woke up in the middle of the night to what sounded like screams in the forest. Big guttural screams. Obviously, I was freaked out sitting in my bed not knowing what was out there. In the morning after, of course, not sleeping at all. I went outside to find the source of the commotion only to find absolutely nothing. I decided to pack up and head back home. As I was walking through the trees, I could feel something was watching me. I turned around and saw the same decaying humanoid figure from the night before, standing in the trees. It was tall and thin with long arms that seemed to drag on the ground. I started to run and I could hear it moving through the trees, keeping pace with me. I could also hear what sounded like heavy footsteps. I turned to look at it again and saw it standing right in front of me. It was close enough for me to make out its features. It was a humanoid shape with a very pale, almost white complexion. Its eyes were completely black and soulless. Its mouth was wide open, revealing sharp teeth. I don't want to be too graphic, but its stomach area seemed to be completely distended, like it was full of feces or some other bodily waste. The smell hit me then, a stench like rotting meat and decay. It was the most disgusting smell I have ever smelled. I screamed at the top of my lungs and kept running. I finally got back to my truck and slammed the door shut and locked it. I put the key in the ignition and turned it over. I was shaking so violently that it took me several attempts just to get the engine to turn over. I got in, and I started driving as fast as I could down the logging road. I didn't stop until I got to the highway, about 20 kilometers away. I don't know how long I had been running for, but I could feel the creature's presence the whole time, watching me, waiting for me to stop so it could catch me. When I got back to the cabin the next day to collect my things, I found this. Etched into the side of the cabin was the word Wendigo. Since then, I've heard many stories from the locals about Wendigo sightings. Apparently, if you feel like you're being watched, you should run because the feeling is very real. A Wendigo is an evil spirit that possesses people and turns them into cannibals. Some say the best way to avoid a Wendigo is to never go into the woods alone. But this guy was clearly stalked by one for days, and the fact that he survived the encounter is pretty insane.